Well, hello world. My name's Rich Fortney, and this is the quest to get on the Alone Show. If you're wondering what this YouTube channel is all about, it's basically me trying to show that I have the skill sets to possibly get a chance to go on the Alone Show. I've been trying to apply for it for about 5 years now, and I thought, well, maybe if I do a YouTube channel, maybe they'll see it. So basically what I'm going to be doing over the next few months is every month I'll try to go out and do a video on a survival type of technique, fire starting in inclement weather, fire drills. I know everybody, there's a ton of people that do these. Clay Hayes, Dan Womack of Coal Cracker School, Bushcraft School up in Pennsylvania. But I'm here in West Virginia, down in Webster County and Randolph County. That'll be my playground. I call it God's country because it's so beautiful down here. I'm filming this stuff by myself because I'm trying to show the alone producers, etc., that I can actually do that. I have a very old camera, but if I can do it with it, I'm sure I can. They can teach me a lot as far as all the actual equipment that they have to use. So I think the first episode I'm going to do will be fire starting, inclement weather. It's January 27th right now, and we had about 1.5 feet of snow down here last week. It's been raining, so it's all melted, and the creek and stuff is super high. But I thought today would be a good day since it is calling for rain this afternoon, but I'll go into that and show you all that. So maybe you all can help me get on the show of Alone. Thank you all for watching. Okay, the first thing I wanted to show everyone was you want to try to find a spot where there's actually a lot of pines. And the reason for that is you want to look for a tree that's dead but standing straight up. Like, oh, there's one. I'll show you it real quick. I'll zoom into it. That one right there. You can see when I come out. I'm going to go ahead and knock that one down and start going over what you need to do. And the reason I picked the pine area is because in inclement weather, when a pine tree dies, all the natural sap that's in it has a chemical that they use for turpentine. So it's very flammable. They call it fat wood. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and knock that down and I'll get to the good parts. I won't show you all the boring parts. Alright, I knocked it down. I'll show you it real quick. Then I'm going to take it on up here and start processing it. Alright, world. little tip here. When you're grabbing the sticks and twigs from the dead trees, you want to make sure you hear that snap, okay? And I'll adjust, but here's what I'm talking about. That's going to let you know that it's nice and dry. And you may have to shave off a little bit of the outside because it's still wet, but you got to hear that snap. If not, it's going to be green on the inside. So just a little tip. Hello world, Rich Fortney again. I'm still prepping this fire. Basically, I'm trying to make me a pile of little sticks. Hope you can hear that snap. It's telling me it's dead. You want to build your fire from small twigs all the way up to your bigger stuff. So I'll start doing that. But I did start breaking up and start prepping some of this wood. I'm going to show you how to shave it and start making feather sticks. And after that, I'll use my ferro rod to start a fire. I'm not going to make a real big one because of the pines have a bunch of roots that are real high on the ground. I don't want to start a fire. I mean, it has been raining for 2 days now, so so we'll see. And I'm also going to show you how to actually split wood with a small axe to where it's safe. So we'll get into that here in just a minute. I'm not going to bore you with all the breaking and all that stuff, but I will show you all how to make a feather stick. Alright, when you're grabbing that standing wood that's like so and you're breaking it, you can still see that it's a little bit wet. That's alright, that's on the outside. What you're going to want to do is break it down even more. Most of them, if they're real dry, they'll have these cracks in them. I'm going to show you a technique that will help you to where you're more safe with splitting wood. A lot of people will sit there and try to do this with it. Just look. You could cut yourself pretty easily. So this is a Walmart special, Ozark Trail. I keep it. I use this to help me break the pelvic bone of the deer when I harvest them. But this will show you how you can split this up and break it to where you can break it down to where you can get some feather sticks. Like so. And then just keep going. You got a bigger axe, you can cut bigger pieces. This is just Rich's safety tips. We'll get into feather making here in a minute. And by the way, most of this standing wood is not pine, it's actually poplar. Old poplar that's intermixed, that the pines choked out once they were growing. So, and basically to make a feather stick, I'll go into that here just in a second. I'm trying to, okay. Basically you want to have a stick that's triangle, so you have different angles. And we'll go ahead. I prefer to do it this way. Some guys can take their knife and do it. I'm just not that good at that, but I have been working on my technique as far as making these feather sticks. You want to go thin to and it's just real delicate work. You just got to take your time and go a little at a time. I'm trying to get a big, thin piece. But notice what I'm doing here. And I'll make a lot of these because when this wood is wet like it is, it takes quite a few to get a spark going. And I also started processing all that fat wood that I was talking about, making strips of it. That's the outer bark, but this is a good piece. I'll even make a couple feather sticks of it. It's hard because that pine and that turpentine, it kind of wants to split on you all the time. So just do your best and do what you can, and then take the shavings, and I'll take the shavings and lay them down because they catch real good. But you see that real dark wood in there? That's that turpentine, or that chemical that makes turpentine. I'll pick all that up and use it over there at the fire. So now we'll get into using the ferro rod. Okay, I'm just going to zoom in real quick just to show you. You got bigger thin wood. all the way up. There's all those shavings. Thicker, thicker. I even put a couple pieces of that fat wood in there. I'll show you that one. It's real good here after a bit, and I'll show you how it actually keeps lit. But then I stacked a bunch of ferro or feather sticks right there. So we'll get into the filming of making the fire. Alright, we're going to go ahead and use our ferro rod, and when you go in to actually strike it to get a spark, I'm going to try to scrape off a little bit of it and let it fall into the shavings. Some guys can do this and get it done within one strike. Don't be discouraged, okay? There's some guys that have to sit there and spark it a few times, but I'm hoping I can get that little ferro rod started. Then I'm going to start using this fat wood to go into it. So we'll see. Let's go ahead and begin. Now remember, when you do it, you want to have a good grip on your ferro rod and on your knife. You want to make sure it's back towards you. And you'll see what I'm talking about when I start sparking it. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to scrape a little bit off as I go. I'm going to use this rock for a little bit more leverage. Trying to get a good angle. Well, pretty wet, but I'm still going to get it. It's wanting to start. There we go. Now you want to get the other ones going as well. And remember, you want to add the wood as long as the flame is above the wood that you have. Notice that black smoke that's coming up out of there? That was that actual fat wood. It's got that chemical in it. That's actually what's burning. Here's some more of that fat wood that I'm going to lay in there. Got it going pretty good, so I'm going to save these for later. You never know when you might need them. Plus you want to pay attention to the direction of your wind. So that'll help. But let me show you what I meant about fat wood. I'll get this one going. The wind's picking up. That's all right. I'll try to get this over there a little bit closer to show y'all. But notice this black smoke that's coming out of it. Notice how it's all that chemical. How it's bubbling up. That's really good stuff. It'll you can make torches out of this. But as you can see, it takes a little work, but it's not bad. I'll save that one too. That's a nice piece of wood, along with this, because it's all good. Take that back to the camp. I'm gonna let that burn out, and then we'll go into fire safety tips. All right, some safety tips for those youngsters. When dealing with fires, if you don't have any water, notice how it's still so wet, the ground's so wet. You want to make sure that the fire is totally out. You want to make sure there's no heat, no warmth coming from it. And what I'm doing is I'm coating it with this dirt because it's so wet. And the worst case scenario, if you gotta pee, pee on the fire. If that's what it takes to put it out. Because as Smokey the Bear would say, only you can prevent forest fires. You want to make sure there's no smoke. Then you want to make sure that you get some dirt. Pull these out because they're still a little hot. Now don't be touching the coals because they're super hot. But as I can tell, there's still heat. So we still got to give it some more time. See how this one's smoking? Just trying to smother it out with all these wet leaves, and you can actually even grab moss. I'll show you. In some future episodes, I'm going to show you all how to get water out of vines if you really need it, and also how to deal with snakes. That's for another day. When the rattlesnakes, the timber rattlers come out of their dens, I'll film that for y'all down here. Well, all right, that's Rich's safety tips for this episode. And stay tuned, I've got a lot more things to show y'all. Possibly a bow drill, a hand drill, pump drill, make fires. So, more to come. Alright world, I'm back down here at the base camp, and I am going to go ahead and try again to start a fire with ferro rod. Also use that fat wood. I got a little bit of shavings here. I just want to practice a little bit more, because you never know when you might need it. So I'm going to see if I can't get this sucker started a little quicker. Who knows, I might not. Remember, in the back. I want to flatten that out a little bit so it lays a little bit better. Oh yeah, much better. Now I'm going to use this wet bark, some shavings of the bark, another feather stick, and some more of that fat wood from that piece. I'm going to put a couple of these down there just to see. Well, looky here. Look what we got going. Hey, I like that fat wood. And these feather sticks are pretty cool. Notice I got my fire ring there. I just want to get these. They're a little bit damp, so that's why I stripped the bark. Just to show you could use all kinds of different things. Stripping a little bit more of that fat wood so that'll help burn that, get that stuff dry. I'm gonna zoom in real quick. Sometimes it just needs a little extra boost of air to get her going. So there we go, starting fire with a ferro rod and a feather stick. Gotta love it. Hello world, this is Rich Fortney again. Hey, I just wanted to point out a couple errors in my filming earlier. When I was filming, I was showing you I wasn't paying attention, but when I was striking my ferro rod, I was using the sharp end of my knife. You don't want to do that. You want to use the top end, back here towards this. I don't know if I was just thinking about the film itself and wasn't paying attention, but that's the way you should be doing it. Back here, applying pressure and just giving her heck. That's the way you want to do it. instead of, sorry, y'all can't see the flames, but and also when you're when you're wanting to get the shavings off of your fat wood, you want to get it in a giant pile, because you can normally get it struck by with one good strike. And I'll film that here in just a second to show you what I'm talking about. But it's going to take me a few minutes to scrape enough fat wood before you get little shavings. But you all will see that here in a second. This right here is what I was talking about. And you want to get a giant pile of this. Basically, you want a whole giant pile of that. So give me a few minutes. All right, world, I'm gonna go ahead and start striking it and showing you what this fat wood will do. Pretty much got her going. Let's see how it's burning and burning. Well, I'm down here in my backyard and I'm going to go ahead and burn some brush. So I thought I'd show you that. I forgot to show you it when I was down at my camp. But I'll go ahead and start filming that as well. See that black smoke rising? It's all that fat wood. I'm going to go ahead and put it on this brush pile. As you can see, pretty big brush pile, but we still got snow here, so I'm gonna go ahead and start building this fire up. I want to build the fire from above to go down. I have a stump in there I want to get rid of. So I believe I'm going to be down here a little while. Go ahead and secure my knife. And notice how that fat wood is getting down in there. Catching in several different areas. Okay, because this wood is so wet, I had to grab a few more pieces of fat wood and put in there. That's a good piece. That ought to get going. So as you can see, I'm gonna get this burning. But I wanted to point out a couple of those errors that I did in my earlier video. So there you have it. Use the back of your knife. Arrivederci.